We speak now to Lerato Sithole, license initiator of Think and Grow Rich Africa, and Scott Servine, who is the director tasked to capture the essence of motherhood on camera. Good morning, welcome to the both of you.
Morning.
Thank you for being here after a late night.
Thank you for having us.
How did the event go? Talk to me a little bit about the program before we get into the film.
Oh, the event was more than we expected. And I say this, yes, we had good guests that came, but I think the transformation that we experienced, the impact that it made when we got the feedback from the people who were talking to during the networking, it's just the impact, how it speaks to everybody. You know, in that movie, I think everyone found themselves, everyone found a story. And what I kept on hearing is people were saying, why am I sitting down and not doing anything? Why am I not using who I am to have an impact? So for me, that's a success, because that's what we wanted to do. That's what we want to do through Moms Rising, and that's what we want to do as Think and Grow Rich Africa.
Tell me more about Moms Rising. As the director of the film, how did you even conceptualize this?
Well, the last film I made had a scene right in the very beginning about an extraordinary mother, Thomas Edison's mother, and how she got a letter from his school teacher saying he was addled. He was slow and he couldn't be taught. But she's so smart as a mom, she pretended like the letter said, "You're so brilliant, we can't keep up with you at school."
Wow.
So as a mom, you're gonna have to teach him at home. So she kind of told him that lie, but it was actually the truth of who he really is.
Right.
And we got so much feedback from that one scene, we were like, oh, we have to make a whole movie about that very thing.
Yeah.
And so that was the launch of it.
Incredible. Talk to me about the selection of stories that you see in the film.
Well, that is what Scott did, but I mean, I came through there as well. I said a whole lot of things when we were doing the shoot, but then he, you know, from my story, took a story about my mom and my dad, which, you know, when I watched and I thought, this is proper. I mean, I could have told a story about my 5 children, about a whole lot of things, but what Scott pulled out was amazing. There are stories, I mean, there's a story of Maria, who is not, you know, she was looking after children, 60 of them?
600 at the end.
600.
Yeah, 600.
She spent 17 years working, when I say working, just putting her heart into it, you know, getting sponsors, losing sponsors during the recession, going out of her way to really run, being a runner, climbing the Everest, and a whole lot of things. So she's Portuguese. She did things that she never thought she would do, not for herself, but for those 600 children.
That is
17
incredible.
years later, she sees them as adults. You know, she says something that is profound, saying that when people go to developing countries and see children, they see a hopeless situation, but she said she sees a talent that's being wasted, and then she bets it. And that is the spirit of motherhood, that, you know, we bring a whole lot of stories of forgiveness that are in there, stories of resilience, of never giving up, of, you know, loving yourself, forgiving yourself. Lots of beautiful stories that are in there.
Wow. Scott, which story in particular stands out for you?
Oh, so many. You know, as a filmmaker, I'm always after an authentic story, a powerful story, and I'm convinced after spending a year and a half on this that there's nothing more powerful than that of a mother.
Yes.
And the impact she has on not only her kids, but the whole world around her.
Yeah.
And as men, we can harvest these gifts as well. We can see the impact that my mom had on me, and I got to tell you, I think my most powerful traits as a man, as a filmmaker, come from the gifts that my mother gave me. So creating a film that profiles that, I think it will light people up from the inside out.
Oh, that is fantastic. Also very important to note, Lerato, is that you are the sole license owner to author the Africa version of Think and Grow Rich. That is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
How did that come about?
Scott. so when I went in for Moms Rising, you know, I asked Scott, how many African women are in this? He said, you're the only one. And I thought, okay. So I thought, you know what, I like what we're doing, but I know that we've got some richness in Africa, you know, with the colors that we have, that diversity. And I asked him, can we tell the story in an African way? And he said, well, think about it. Now he tells me he actually started thinking about it very deep. And then after that, we started talking. And then I think 18 months later, then I was given the license to do Think and Grow Rich Africa. So that's not only limited to the story about mothers, but that is wide in all the continent, all our 54 countries. We can do anything in in motion picture and writing a book as well. But collecting the stories of success in Africa and using those as a legacy, but using those as transformation, because the whole thing is encouraging us to use our thoughts to be transformed. That's what it is. Think and grow rich. So if you lose everything, you don't have money to start your business, you can't get a loan from the bank, but you've got your thoughts. If you think yourself to that success, loan or not, you will get to that success. So that is what we're wanting to drive. We want to drive and say to Africans, the time for us to feel sorry for ourselves is gone. The time for us to expect external changes to make us successful is gone. Because internally, God has given us a gift of our thoughts, and that is the treasure. That is the seed. And you know, on Mother's Day, mothers take a seed, they produce something after 9 months that never existed. Now Think and Grow Rich says, take your thought, use it as a seed, and after 9 months, whatever the 9 months would be, it will come out as something that never existed before. And for Africans, I think that will go a long way, because you know, our minerals and all of that are no longer there. In fact, even when they were there, they were not ours, you know, even if we are Africans. But our thoughts, nobody can take that away from us.
Absolutely.
And we are so gifted in taking that forward.
Now, for the benefit of our viewers, Scott, what does that process look like? I mean, to get to the point of being the sole license owner to author the Africa version of Think and Grow Rich?
Well, it's funny you should mention, because it's more than just the steps that it takes. It's that, but then there's something innate in Lerato's spirit.
Yeah.
The second I met her on the set in Los Angeles, she just drew me into her orbit. and I don't know how else other to explain it. She's
drawing me into her orbit right now.
Yeah, and can't you feel it? It's
Right.
it's powerful. And
Yeah.
I think that's what it took more than anything else. Her intention was so clear.
Yeah.
She said, I want to do this. And the second I turned my attention to that, I was swept into this universe of this extraordinary continent. And I think the biggest challenge will be, you know, weeding out which stories we can tell. We're going to want to tell them all. And there's thousands.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have to zero in on maybe there's more than one movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Tell me about this entire network that you've actually created around Think and Grow Rich Africa.
Well, the network is ongoing, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were launching Think and Grow Rich Africa yesterday, and we really, so the other thing that we've got is an organization that Scott and I are partnering on called Uriti, which is going to help us do the actual production. But we are also partnering with the Napoleon Hill Foundation and the Napoleon Hill Institute and the actors that we were with on Moms Rising, and also on the Think and Grow Rich movie, the initial one. They're very sold out to do this. But this is the thing, Maschaba, this is the story of Africa. So we want to partner with every African that says, I'm tired of thinking negative. I'm tired of being tired. I want to think different. So this partnership is for all of us. So we want people to just sign up and get in there, and then let's just build this together. Let's just join the movement, and let's just move forward and make the generation that comes different. We're 30 years in democracy, and it looks like we spend our time looking at an external freedom, but we want to do the internal freedom. So this partnership is for all Africans. Africans, Morocco, Mozambique, Kenya, everywhere. So, and we really want to partner with people even in country. So when we're doing Morocco, we want to find a Moroccan person that can drive this for us. So it is very, very, very wide. And really also here in South Africa, we want to go out of our way to partner with the film industry, the arts and culture, the Department of Arts and Culture. Those are the partners that we're looking to have. And so far, it is going very well.
Fantastic. Where do people sign up?
www.thinkgrowrich.africa.
Fantastic. And where can people see the film?
Well, that's a good question.
So we did this, the mid-rand one, which is a Joburg version yesterday. We plan to screen for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
If there's demand, we'll screen more. And we plan to also just tour the different cities or the different provinces. And what's also going to happen is that on our website, we're having a channel where people can download and watch it.
Wow. Great job. Thank you to the both of you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks.
for having us.
That was Lerato Sithole, initiator of Think and Grow Rich Africa, and Scott Servine, who is the director of Moms Rising. I don't know about you, but I am sold.